speaking of waste, let's talk about let's talk about your waste Paragon 4.0. What was the point of coming out with another?
I like to come up with 3.0 has already been out for about a year.
Wow.
I would say a year and a half already.
Wow.
You know, with small edits here and there, not major ones, not complete redesigns or anything like that. But I thought it was a great time now to start thinking about 6 months ago. I already started developing the new one. You know, just like any other product out there, and you know this. You don't know the weaknesses or the things that you need to make better on a product until you have a lot of reviews and a lot of people giving you feedback on it. Oh shit, what the hell happened? What happened?
2 hours later.
All right, Santi. So speaking of waste, you brought out the 4.0 Paragon. I remember when you first started the 3.0. Was it 3.0 first? Or was it
yeah, so what? It started as 1.0.
Oh, okay.
This is many moons ago. Moons ago.
I didn't remember if there was 3 versions. I'm like, I remember seeing it's 3.
Yeah, because nobody even knew what like I didn't even really exist at that time.
That's funny as hell.
And I was already coming out with version 2 and version 3. Most people are like, wait, what the hell happened to version 1 and 2? Like, what the hell happened to that?
How shitty is 1 now versus 4?
Well, I still have all of them. I have all the versions.
Oh, they're all on the set. Okay.
Yeah, I still own version 1. Jose Raymond owns a version 1 too.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
And it's good. It was just that I didn't have buying power at that time.
Right.
And the factories that I was getting that one built in, it was just they were killing me because I just didn't have buying power to buy a lot of inventory at that time. You know, then I came out with version 2. Then version 2 and version 3 are very similar, but there was just a couple different things that I changed on it. And with the more people that purchase a product, this is in general, the more feedback you get and the more people that are testing it to know that the next time you need to make these revisions to correct issues that you've had with past products. And this goes with any brand, shoes, clothes, anything. So version 4, I've been developing it since the beginning of the year, but since the lockdown happened, you know, supply lines and have been impossible as of recently. Now I'm able to get the factories are able to source materials again, which that was a problem. Is you have these factories, they have a design, but now they can't source the materials because now other countries that have these specific textiles can't get them. So, you know, you see how this supply line gets really disrupted by, you know, it just comes from one thing and everything gets disrupted. Yeah. So I've been working on this since the beginning of the year, and I was planning on dropping it by mid-year already, but, you know, everything got pushed back and everything like that. So now that everything is picking back up, you know, I just got my beta 1 and then beta 2 just came in on Monday. So I was able to test it out. It's a completely redesign of the design, like the way that it's shaped. Right. The way that the materials are just so much more premium. I knew the weak points in the waist trainer, as far as the way that it was sewed in certain areas and the way that, you know, it got pulled. Just a complete redesign on it. I'm super, super proud of it. And by the end of, I would say, next month, I'll have all the colors so that I can test out all the colors, see all the colors in person, and then, you know, moving forward, that'll be the next one. Just people don't understand that coming out with a product, it's a huge process. It's not just let me think of a product and then I kind of come out with it. You need to do testing on the product. You need to see the product in person. You need to have other people wear it and give you feedback to see if this is what, you know, if there's any type of revisions that you may need to make, any edits that you might need to make. So it does take some time. I know that in the past I've had an idea, come out with something without doing a lot of testing, and then later on I'm stuck with inventory knowing that it's a shit product.
Yeah,
that's what I want to minimize, and by minimizing it, it does take time to come out with. So I every single day, when is version 4 coming out? I'm like, yo,
nuts.
I'm like, I'm not coming out with it until I know that it's perfect, because then you're the first person that's going to be complaining about, you know, something that you don't like about it. So that's basically it. I mean, I'm just very excited to come out with it and have a fresh product out. And it's the same thing with the cream. I've been trying to develop this fat burning cream already for about a year. And the same thing,
about that. Yeah.
Supply lines, them sourcing ingredients, all of these things. And then now that COVID happened, you know, I had a factory that was going to be making out in China. Now that the whole COVID thing is, I didn't want now to come out with a product that's made in China. I wanted it to come out being made in the United States. So that right there is hurdles in itself because of the FDA and everything like that. So that right now is, I'm starting the process on the cream. I had to start clean, fresh from the beginning again.
Yeah, it's a
clean slate, and hopefully by the end of the year, leading into next year, the cream will follow.
Yeah. Speaking on the waist trainer, do people still buy the 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0, or you
no, those are discontinued. Those aren't even on the website anymore.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you come out with a new one, you discontinue, you sell out the other one and then move forward.
Yeah, I deplete the other inventory and then bring out that inventory. Now I know there might be some overlap, you know, with specific sizes and stuff like that, and you just, you know, you discount those and let those go. But yeah, the version one was. Well, like I said, I still have it, and I look at it, I'm like, wow, this has come a long way. This one.
That's pretty fucking gnarly to be able to see
come a long way.
The progression of it all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, even from like the progression from what the website looked like, and from how the orders are taken, and how it started with a stupid box under my desk, and it's in a warehouse now.
Isn't it weird though? Like, as I'm seeing it too, like all the intricate details that go into the fucking process, how much shit there is to take control of. It's like every day you're like, oh, what's gonna fucking crash today? What's gonna happen today? You know, I'm like, I wait for it.
That's the beauty of being a business owner, and you gotta be ready for it. Luckily, I was able to kind of get a feel of what owning a business was when I owned the cell phone store.
Yeah, you're a customer service. So
so that between customer service and just between critical thinking and thinking on your feet when situations happen and you don't have a manual to tell you, oh, flip to page 12 if this is happening. You know, you kind of had to kind of navigate your way and then, okay, so this happened one time. This is the way we dealt with it, and this is the way that we'll deal with it in the future if it does happen again.
Yeah, it's there's always hurdles to jump over with running any type of business to that level, and it doesn't even matter what volume you're doing. It's just shit happens, and people get pissed. You're not going to have not every customer's going to be happy. There's always someone complaining, and you have to accept that though, because not everyone's going to be, you know, oh, I love your shit all the time. You know, they're going to be upset people. There's people have these expectations that are just never going to be met. It's just impossible. So you just have to.
Tough. It's tough, and you always want to keep a good relationship with your customers, because you don't know what what business they're bringing in too. A lot of my customers are either returning customers or customer referrals. And that's basically how my brand started. I didn't have advertisement. I didn't buy Google ads or anything like that. It kind of was just word of mouth. So the more people that you have happy and the more people that you satisfy, the more they'll talk about your brand.
Yeah. I mean, even if the person hates your guts, you have to kill them with kindness. I mean, it sucks. Like
always.
My phone, bro, I'm not kidding. This is like the third iPhone I went through in like 6 months because I don't know if you can see it, but I've burnt like an indent on my phone, my thumb from going here up and down and typing here. The screen's actually like
you burned it.
Yeah, it's like the third one I had in like 6 months because I'm on the phone so much. Like, I'm sure you're the same way. It's like,
yeah, I'm scared to see. I'm scared to see what my screen time is every day.
I don't even look at that
because if it's not Instagram, if it's not doing Q&As, if it's not answering DMs, if it's not doing emails, if it's not coming up with the next, the next post for your page.
I just walk around like this all day, like strap my face with it, hold my dick with it, jerk off with it. There's no point in letting it go because as soon as I put it down, I'm like, oh, I gotta pick it up.
I gotta pick it up again. I gotta pick it up.
So annoying, dude. I hate it. It gets me so angry sometimes. But I'm like, what would I do without that thing? I'd be nothing without that.
I have to. As soon as the next version comes out and things start stabilizing, especially next year that everybody's going to be competing next year. Everybody's going to be buying waist trainers next year. Yeah, I have to then say, okay, Santi, every Sunday,
right?
That is the day where you're going to stay off your phone as much as you can.
Yeah,
clients is going to be Friday, Saturday. If you send me an update on Sunday, you're not going to get an answer.
Yeah.
I need one day where it's no gym, no phone,
nothing.
And on Monday, I'll pick right back up where I started because it's like, it doesn't end. I could go take a shit at 1 o'clock in the morning, pick up my phone. And I know that once I open up the phone, I got emails, I got DMs, I got this, I got that. And it's just, well, I'm sitting on the shit's been taken already, but I'm not moving from this toilet until everything's answered.
No homo. I don't want to talk about our shitting situations, but how many times do your legs go numb sitting on the toilet for? I don't know if this happens to you. You're not as heavy as I am. But
I'm not
stand up and I fall because my legs are numb from the knee down. They fell asleep 20 minutes ago. And I'm like in the bathroom going like this, trying to wake them up.
See, for me, most of the time, my legs can't even reach the floor from the toilet. So. So I'm just doing this,
Bro, my feet go to sleep all the time. I'm like screaming in the bathroom in pain because you get like that pin in the needles. I'm like, fucking wake up! Can't get up.
It doesn't end. But you know what? I rather that than have nothing going on.
Yeah, you're not just swiping.
That's for sure. I'd rather that than nothing going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It does get very overwhelming some days when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to open the first one because then it's like you gotta just keep going and you get obsessed with it. You have to keep answering everything until it's done.
I'm the same way. I can't leave I'm weird like that. I can't leave notifications open.
Yeah.
Like once I start, I have to complete everything.
Yeah, and then then you get the guy that's like, you have like 3 good ones and you have like the 4 jerk offs in a row and you're like, I'm not going to open the next one. It's going to be bad. And I'm going to freak out and I have to answer 5 people right now. I'm going to be
You know what I get? I actually get, and it's weird because I did the same thing when I owned the cell phone store and I would work the front is when somebody came in with a bad attitude or, let's say in this case, wrote a bad email, I would see, let me see if I can reverse the situation and see how happy they can be by making them happy.
Right.
Because most of the time then they feel like, wow, I really acted like an asshole. Like I came out very aggressive.
Yeah.
They didn't even, say anything. They helped me.
Right.
And then now I feel like an asshole. And they end up saying, I've gotten many times where I've done that and like, you know what? don't reimburse me. Just I'm gonna purchase one because you know your customer service was so good.
Right.
So
you gotta kill them with kindness.
I like that feeling to see, you know, like you said, kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
You know, you do kill them with kindness, and sometimes they turn around and they'll end up buying for you forever.
If I know, like, I'm just having a bad moment, it happens. People don't realize that. Like, I get people that have bad moments. I have bad moments too. So if I'm like, you know what, I can't even talk to these people right now, I'm like, oh, let me look into it. I'll get back to you soon. And I'll just leave it like that. And I'll like, okay, leave a note.
And then you revisit
back to Bob later. And I'll talk to Bob. Calm down. Then I kill him. I'm just like, yeah, Bob, no problem. We're going to help
you, bro.
I'll send you 3. Whatever you need.
I know. I have mornings like that too, man. But it's really
a good time.
It's really important, especially since we are the face of our brands.
Yeah, it's rough.
Because then it's not even about the brand anymore. It's that you're an asshole, you know, and they will never buy anything from you ever again just because you're attached to it.
Yeah, and then they'll just ramble everyone. Oh, they'll comment. Oh, he's a dick. He was so mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh God. Bro.
And what's great too is that now now that I'm starting the off season, it's like I could dedicate so much more time to all these little projects that are going on. You know, I don't have to. Oh man, during prep it's very difficult.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
very difficult just because of the energy and everything like that. But so far this off season has been treating me very well. It's only been a week and a half, but it's been treating me very well.
Are you trying to stay on course as far as you don't overly eat anyway, but like, are you trying to stay in shape or most of push later or
every single off season? Just because it was I was competing in classic before, I always had to like really methodically reverse diet.
Right.
Really methodically reverse diet because we were just such at a depleted state to make weight that anything that I would put into my body was it'll blow me up.
Right.
It'll blow me up like crazy. And I know that a lot of people that compete, and even me as an amateur, it wasn't unusual for me to gain 15, 20 pounds within a week after the show.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't unusual. So methodically always having to kind of reverse diet was always a thing. Now, I did things very different this time around, extremely different. So I've been doing a lot of research and doing a lot of reading on different methods of reverse dieting / that anabolic rebound, you know, after a show. And I've been getting a lot of messages about this topic lately too. But I was doing a lot of research and I got in touch with Justin Harris. And Justin Harris had a very unique way of doing a rebound after a show. And I wanted to try it just because I like experimenting with different things. I like trying new things and seeing if it works.
You had a chance to do this anyway, so.
Yeah, so his way of doing it is, you know, he's a big carb cycling guy. So he has his clients carb cycle in the off season and obviously during contest prep.
Yeah.
So the way that he does it is he does 5 high days in a row, starting the Monday after your show.
Right.
So go 5 days high. You're eating a cheat meal every single day for meal 6.
Right. And
then you're using insulin 3 times a day. So meal 1, pre-workout, and then like one of the meal, not post-workout, but one of the meals after that. And then you're dropping all anabolics except you're just keeping 2 compounds. Okay. So I went with that and I tried that. And I was very scared and skeptical to start because of my history with rebounding like a motherfucker.
Right.
So I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to gain like fucking 30 fucking pounds by the end of 5 days. There's no fucking way that I'm not going to gain 30 fucking pounds.
Right.
So the first day goes, and mind you, so people know, I'm doing 1,000 grams of carbs every day.
Jesus Christ.
So it's 1,000 grams of carbs every day. And if you want to replace, you could have meal 6 that'll give you the 1,000 grams, or you could replace meal 6 with a cheat meal. Most of the time by meal 6, you're like dying already, meaning like you're so fucking full.
Yeah.
You don't even want to even think about a burger or anything like that. But I said, I'm going to push and I'm going to eat a cheat meal every single day. I'm going to follow the plan the way that it's supposed to be followed. So day 1 goes around, was great. My energy was like crazy. I was hungry as fuck. And then by the time, you know, as the days went on, you know, you get the normal things. That lower back pump is nuts. You're having trouble kind of bending down and all these things. But by the end of day 5, when I finally weighed myself, because I told myself I'm not going to weigh myself until day 5, I weighed in the morning of the show of Tampa. I weighed 190 pounds. And by the end of these 5 days consecutively, 1,000 grams of carbs every day with a cheat meal every single day, I only went up 7 pounds.
What the fuck?
I only went up 7 pounds.
Wow.
So I was very confused. Because in the past I've eaten less food. Now, shitty food, but less food. Like, let's say I eat 2 or 3 meals a day, but they're total garbage.
Right.
But I'm eating all clean food minus that last meal of the day. I'm eating all clean foods, and I only went up almost between 7 and 8 pounds.
Right.
And I was very surprised.
How were your workouts and everything?
They were very good, minus towards the end of the 5 days. So like day 4, day 5, my lower back was shot already. As far as the pump goes.
Right.
So now I'm doing a more just a traditional carb cycle. I have a low day, I have a high day, and I have a medium day. And they're just based around what workout I'm doing that day, what body part I'm training that day.
Makes
so
sense.
right now I have 3 high days, I have 2 medium days, and 2 low days. And
what's your weight now?
My weight is still hovering the same.
Oh, wow.
About 197, 198. 1 cheat meal a week. I'm still doing cardio. I'm still doing about, I'd say about just like 25 minutes fasted 5 times a week. And
you did that the first 5 days too, the cardio?
The first 5 days I did 50 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I did 50 minutes with split. I did fasted and I did post-workout.
That's probably why you kept your weight down a lot. And plus,
well, it was mostly because the water.
Yeah.
I kept the water down.
Yeah, water down
from that rebound.
Yeah.
But the weight itself, I would still think, I'm like, fuck. That's in the first 5 days. I ate over 5,000 grams of carbs.
That's so crazy.
You know, and on my contest prep, I was eating, you know, at the very end, I was eating maybe 75 carbs for about 4 weeks.
Oh God.
So
horrible.
It was very unusual, and I'm glad that I tried it, and I'm really happy with the carb cycling now because I feel hungry all the time, and I think that's what most people forget about is you get that nice rebound and you maximize that rebound, and you have to you want to reverse diet, but you really don't, because this is the time where you can put down the most amount of food.
Yeah.
And you have to put down the most amount of clean food.
Yes.
You don't want to pound down burgers and pizzas and everything, because that'll kill your metabolism.
Yeah, that stalls your rebound fast.
That stalls your rebound.
Yeah,
so
I tell people all the time.
I'm hungry all the time. Even my high days right now, my high days are 1,000 grams.
You're still hungry.
And I'm doing three days of 1,000 grams. And I'm still every single day. Like today's my low day, and I am starving.
Yeah, it's all you think about. It's all you fucking think about.
I'm hungry. It feels like I'm prepping right now.
Yes. So, honestly, I hated the rebound. I loved it, but I hated it because I was so disgustingly hungry and nothing was satisfying. I would eat, I'd be like, I'm still hungry. And I would and you can't stop. Like your palate's just like, give me more fucking food. And your body is just literally just burning it off though. And it's like, it's so uncomfortable though. Like I honestly hated it. Like I didn't want that day to come because I'm like, oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm. And I think those first 5 days really maximize how hungry you were, and then got it out of your system.
Yeah.
you know, because I don't have any cravings or anything like that right now. Even on a low day right now, like I'm hungry, but I'm not craving like burgers or pizza or candy or the usual stuff.
That's
the
good.
usual stuff. So I think that this rebound, at least it's only been, this is going to be 2 weeks. So I take pictures and stuff tomorrow, but I think this was the most successful 2 weeks post show that I've ever had, because I've literally followed the plan. Most people don't understand that on a typical reverse diet, you are going to fail.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you are going to snack.
You have to.
It's like, it's an anomaly.
Yeah, you can't even function without it almost.
If you can reverse diet properly, because your metabolism is so high after the show that once you go back to that 2 weeks out diet, that's not enough food.
No way.
Not enough food.
No way. I would never have my clients do that. That's just something I don't believe in. I like his method. Absolutely. I have a different twist on it, but it's for the most part, it's very effective what he just did with you, what you did with him, whatever. And especially for somebody like you, you've never done anything like that before. So that's great to see how your body was respond to it.
And I look lean. I feel
still very lean. Yeah.
I feel lean. I feel like this week was much better because I dropped that water from those first 5 days. Like my lower back I was able to squat this week.
Right.
Which I got under the squat.
Not happening.
I got under the squat. So I'm like, I'm gonna start doing. My plan was, but I still not very comfortable for me. I use like those hammer strength squat machines, and I face the pad.
Yeah.
To squat. So, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start actually doing squat, like real squats with the safety bar.
Oh, safety bar.
I was gonna use the safety bar squat. So that I felt I was so pumped to do legs too. I got my knee wraps. I got my music. I got my Louis Vuitton belt now. Like I'm ready to go. And I went with my girl to the gym, and she's like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna be cool." So we put one plate on. I'm like, "Damn!" Like, yeah, this is awesome.
Good. Feels awesome.
Yeah, it feels good. I put 2 plates on. I'm like, okay. I'm starting to feel it a little bit. Like this is new. I'm not gonna push myself too hard. I put 3 plates. I go down one time, and then that lightning bolt in the back of my back, like from the sciatic nerve. And I came back up, and I re-racked it. I go, nope, not happening.
That's so annoying, bro.
Nope.
That pain is like.
That's the worst, the most debilitating pain.
There's nothing that could compare to that, honestly. No. It's like getting shot in your back. Yeah. It's like worse.
It's debilitating. Like you can't do
No, you can't function. It just shuts off. It just turns off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
the worst. So I was able this week to get back into like an actual, squatting routine and everything like that. And my strength is like, it's through the roof right now.
It's going to be really scary strong. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Things are just going to like, bloop, they're going to fly. Like, it's going to feel like feathers.
That's the good thing of having like somebody like Carlos that trains me, because he's like puts the weight on for me. And then he knows like what, we're 2 weeks into this right now.
He knows.
So he's like, I know you could push more but he goes, we're not pushing more.
Yeah, no, there's no
he's
point.
Like, we're just
you're going to swell up like a tick anyway from what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, he's like, we'll add another set or two. And if anything, we'll put do a drop set to make it a little bit more intense. But he goes, we're not going to push the weight.
This is where everybody gets hurt. Everybody.
Yeah, this is the time. Because you feel great. You feel awesome. And then you think that you could handle more. And then you try it and you're like, well, that was a bad...
Tendons and ligaments are just not ready for that. They're like, nope,
we're not ready.
I'm going to snap.
Not ready.
No, Santi, please don't.
And I had a huge scare last week. So this never happened to me before. So I was feeling really good. I was doing chest. And there's a specific Smith machine that I like at one of the gyms that I go to. It's like one of those really vertical Smith machines, but then there's like no resistance. Like there's no like cord or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's those dead weight ones.
It's a dead weight hooked Smith machine.
Those are the best ones. Yeah,
I love it. So I go. I'm working my way up each set, and I'm gonna do 3 plates. And usually on prep, I can't get to 3 plates because I'm just too dead. So I'll just rep as many. I'll do mostly pump stuff at the end. So I get to 3 plates, and before I unrack it, like I'm holding it, and then I get off, and I'm like, let me put the safeties on just in case. So I put the safeties on, and then I unrack it, and I'm feeling good. I'm getting to about like 12 to 15, and then as soon as I pull up to rack it, it fucking unwraps.
Oh,
I didn't hook it. I didn't hook it all the way. And
did it have the big hooks on it, like the big ones?
Yeah, as the big one.
The deep ones. Yeah, those suck.
No, it like hooked, but it just came off. And dude, the fucking bar went straight down.
Oh my god!
Straight down on me, and it hit my chest. But since the safety was there, you know, it just went. My chest kind of came down, but it's just stayed on the safety, and I'm like laying there for like 5 seconds.
You're like, who saw that?
My eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm here like trying to like wiggle my way out of the thing.
That's horrible.
My heart was like
scary. That's fucking scary.
Never had a gym scare before until that.
I had one with the lat pull down bar when I was doing pull downs, and it wasn't hooked all the way in the hook. You know, it wasn't closed. Yeah. So I had a fuck ton of weight, and I'm tall, dude. I don't have to stand on the seat. I stood on the seat to strap my hands up, and I strap my hands in, okay? And I go to sit down and yank it, and I throw out the bar, and it smashes me in the forehead, and I go flying, Santi. I mean, flying backwards. I mean, catapulted, because I was like, and I tried to yank it down, and the thing wasn't in the hook. Bro, my head was out to here for like 2 weeks.
The question is, after you hit yourself, were your hands still strapped to the bar?
Bro, I strapped to the bar. That was why I didn't go anywhere. I came with the bar because I pulled it with me. And my training partner at the time, this is like 3 years ago, is behind me. He goes flying, bro, because I'm a fucking 300-pound dude. I'm not like, you know, and I take him out. I go flying on the floor, and I sit up on my ass, and I'm holding the bar.
You still holding the bar? Get this motherfucker off of me.
I'm bleeding my forehead. My head's out to here, like immediately sticking out. Like, I mean, immediately. Look like I clobbered in my forehead. It was the worst.
That's hilarious.
Now I'm petrified of that pull down. I make sure it's like really in there. I pull it in front of me, and I'm like, I don't want it to hit my head again, bro. It was the worst experience. It was the worst gym fail you've ever seen. If I was on camera, I would have millions of dollars on YouTube.
Did it make a lot of shit? Bro, this thing made a shit ton of noise.
Because the stack slammed. I had like all this weight on. It was an old school metal stack, so it was like metal and it's metal. And the thing went flying. I hit my boy. He went flying. Everyone's like, it was catastrophic, dude. It was like, and then I'm just like screaming because I'm like, fuck, my head. Bro, it was like.
Bunch of dominoes.
Yeah, and then there's blood, and I'm still strapped, and then I'm pissed off now. I'm like roid raging, you know, trying to get the bar off my hand. You know when you get the straps like they're on top of each other.
Yeah, they're curled up.
You can't get your hand down.
You're like trying to.
Yeah, that was on tape. I promise you, it would be the most epic gym fail ever. Like, because I was a dickhead. I should have looked, and I was aggressive when I pulled it because I was like getting all amped up. It was like one of my top sets, and I had all this fucking weight on it, like a jerk off. And of course, I had to stand on the seat. You know, I could just.
Well, that's typical for me.
I know, but I was being a dick. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking like.
I'll pull this
beat this fucking thing up. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it down. And of course, I jump down, and the bar goes with me. Like, yeah. Just imagine me hopping into it, you know, to get my legs over, and I just kept going. And I saw it like go like. Cool.
I'm shocked that you're because you know when you put your legs into the pad, that your legs still weren't into the pad, and you were just
it was only
laying back.
It was only like on my shin. I was like going down, and I just kept going this way with it, bro. It was horrible. I mean, it was bad. That was the only thing I ever had happen to me, though. Like regardless of all the crazy shit I've done in the gym, that was the worst. I mean, that was horrible. I mean. I'll never forget it, like ever. Like
that would be enough.
There's literally like I feel like this bump has never went away from it either. Like I'm surprised I didn't need stitches either. I went to the emergency room. They're like, no, it'll heal. I'm like, you sure? This fucking thing's like this big. I was like, I had a hat on for like a month.
every time that your blood pressure went up and you were pissed, you would just start fucking bleeding.
Well, I had the scab. I literally put ointment on it like every 10 minutes. I'm like, if this scabs, bro, I'm fucked. Because it was like just huge. I mean, it was a metal bar and the hook, like douche, right here. But yeah, but that one sucks too, though. With the fucking, if that was the bar, though, dude, that would have broke your sternum, probably.
That, you know what? And I was thinking about that. I'm like, if I didn't put those safeties on,
100% would have broke your sternum.
The force that it came down, because it was like once you hook it,
that was it. You let go.
Your arms relax.
Yeah.
And then it just, whew.
I've seen kids do that in the gym, though. I've seen that happen to idiots in the gym where they don't even like get it up and they just let it go, and I'm like, oh fuck! You're like, like,
dude, it was scary. Like my hat flew, my fucking my Beats flew. Like I had nothing on anymore. Like everything blew off of me. And when I got up, I'm like, okay, I think we gotta move on now.
I'm gonna go home.
I think I'm gonna use like real machines for the rest of the day.
I love those machines though, because they are real weight though. It feels like 315.
It feels heavy. So yeah. I just like it because it once you position it where you want it,
Do you have the springs for the safeties?
No, it's just metal.
Oh, it's just not metal. The ones that just go like go like this
with like a little rubber thing. No, it's just metal hooks.
No, the safeties though are just a little flap. They just go into the.
No. They're like these other hooks that come up.
Oh, the hook one. Oh, that's a real old one then. That's a real old one then.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Usually the ones that have the little things and they spin.
I know which ones. Yeah, they go this way.
Yeah. Okay.
No, these are like hooks that.
So I went down and just stopped. It didn't bounce or anything. It just. Oh god.
It was.
Like, oh fuck.
Dude, after that, I'm like,
you didn't tear like your bicep or something though, like because you tried to stop it or something, and would it like, you get. Do you use straps when you bench too, or no? Do you have it for grip?
What the?
Do you have like straps on?
Oh, no.
Okay, so you weren't strapped in, because if you were strapped in, your arm went like this.
No, dude, it's like I didn't even have time. It came down so fast. I didn't even have time to fight. To like
fight.
Tense up
Good
and
thing
fight.
You did. Good thing you didn't though.
No.
You would have fucked.
I could have fucked myself up there.
Yeah, you would have tore your pec or your bicep tendon or something crazy. Oh God.
Anyways,
do you want to answer any questions? Or
yeah. So we got a couple questions here that I got from social media. All right, we got from, and a lot of this we covered, so we could just touch on it quickly. At Santiago Gogo 26, he says, "How to use insulin and don't get fat from it."
Well, people have a tendency to. Well, the first thing is I want to break the internet by saying that you can eat fats while you're on an insulin diet. You're allowed to have fats. Like people think you can't have fats with insulin. Absolutely, you can use fats, just as long as it's a good source of fat. You're not eating cheeseburgers and French fries and garbage. As long as you're getting the right nutrients in with the correct macros and everything, you can have fats around insulin. That doesn't make you fat. People think fats means fat, and it doesn't equate to that in real life. That's not how it works. So you're allowed to have fats on your diet, but just I don't believe in eating shit food or doing insulin when you have a shitty metabolism. I think the right people have to use metabolism.
In other words, not taking insulin and then like, oh, I'm going to eat a burger. So
I'm going to grow more because I'm going to have a cheat meal now on my insulin. Like, unless you have the good metabolism, you can't pull that off.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people fuck up, Just having the right nutrition balance when you're on insulin is everything. I think too many people take too much insulin too, and they go hypo, and they think feeling hypo is the way they're supposed to feel on insulin. You're not supposed to feel anything when you're on insulin, And
in other words, the key is to feed. The correct way to say it is you don't feed the insulin, meaning you don't adjust. You don't come up with a dosage for the insulin and then feed the insulin. You don't say, I'm going to take 20 units of insulin, so that means I have to eat 200 grams of carbs. No, eat the normal diet and just use the
Incorporate,
insulin
yeah.
as a supplement to drive whatever diet that you have.
Too many people try to overeat now with insulin, and I'm like, no, don't utilize it like that. Utilize it with your regular diet. Just incorporate it. You'll see a big difference with absorption. I mean, you'll feel, you know it. You felt better.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
now,
body metabolizes food much better.
Me personally, this is on a personal note. Since I have used insulin before, doing it with fats and also with no additional fats, you know, whatever trace fats the diet has in it. Me personally, on the days that I am using insulin, so if I'm not using insulin every single day, for me, I have seen that I look and I feel better when the fats are low that day. Not saying that I completely take fats out, because on my other medium and low days, I have healthy fats in there.
Right.
I think that the reason why too that some people might do low fats on that day is because they're eating so much fucking food to begin with.
Right.
There's no room to add more calories to the calories that you're already eating on the high day.
Right.
So that high day is just dedicated to, you know, put as much glycogen into the muscle as you can and try to pretty much eliminate all other external factors that can inhibit that digestion and that pretty much the goal for that day. The goal for that day is just to replenish glycogen. Yeah. So
some people need a little bit of fat though, just to slow the absorption.
Exactly.
Down, the carbohydrates down, because some people get so fast. I'm sure you probably get to that point too, though.
I think it's just because it's so much food that, you know, if it was like, let's say I was eating 75, let's say 60 to 75 grams of carbs in that meal, and I was going to incorporate insulin, then yes, maybe some fats in there would be great because I'd run right through it. Right. But if the meal is having me eat 150 to 200 grams of carbs in it,
you're good.
I'm pretty much set.
Yeah.
Well, I personally have used it both ways. And if it's something that you're not going to be doing every day, and that day is being dedicated to that one thing, I think it comes down to the person too.
Yeah.
You know, insulin is so tailored to specific people that some people are going to get fat regardless, and some people, no matter if you throw fats in there or not, they're not going to get fat.
What else you got?
I got from @Tymish. And I wrote these, and I don't even know what I wrote. I found them on social media, and then I retyped them.
It's funny.
Oh, okay. This thing corrected me. It's instead of Letro, it put Metro.
That's funny.
I'm like, Metro? I use Metro. So I use Letro only as needed when I have flare-ups on TRT. Is that okay?
No, I mean, you want to go first or me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
So I think that when you're experiencing flare-ups, okay, and then you're taking something like Letro, you're putting a Band-Aid on the situation. Yeah. You're not actually finding the source why you're having this and then correcting it from the source. You're correcting a side effect without actually going to the source. So the source, I don't know he said TRT. So I'm assuming he's just converting a lot of estrogen.
Right.
You know? He's converting a lot of estrogen. And by you just knowing, I'm getting a flare up because I feel, you know, my nipples are sensitive. So I'm going to hit it with Letro. You need to get blood work done.
Yeah.
You need to get blood work done. The chances are is that you're just converting a lot of that testosterone into estrogen. And you're getting those side effects. So instead of that, I personally, I still do. I convert a lot of estrogen. I've always been that way. Right. And as soon as I started doing Aromacin, 12.5 milligrams twice a week, and I started getting blood work done, that pretty much controlled my estrogen to a good. Oh, your computer's gonna go crazy again.
Oh, but the aliens are gonna attack.
To a good level, and then I didn't have to resort to just killing my estrogen, you know, when I had flare-ups.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't take real anti-estrogens. That's the number one problem.
Okay.
People think, I mean, it seems to be a big problem. A lot of people just aren't using real Arimidex and Aromacin. Or some people try to use Novodex. That's not going to be strong enough. That's not a strong enough aromatase inhibitor. So Aromacin or Adex only on cycle. And sometimes they're not either just taking enough or just not. I mean, most of the time they're either taking way too much testosterone and not enough anti-estrogen or any at all, or they're taking too much testosterone and fake anti-estrogens. And then when they finally get a real anti-estrogen, like, oh shit, okay, aromasin's strong. Because let's be honest, dude, like I've used all the testosterone in the world and I could always combat my estrogen with Arimidex or aromasin at whatever dose I found to be enough. So letrozole is just way too harsh on your lipids, way too harsh on your body, your health. You don't no one should ever have to use letrozole to combat estrogen. Let me just say that. No one's estrogen gets that uncontrollable that you need to start taking letrozole one day. It doesn't, and people have the worst perception on way drugs work. They think because they take it like, oh, estrogen's gone. Like, no, it's not going to hit you like that. It has to take compounding your body. It has to take time to work. And you can't just pop a pill and be like, oh, my gyno's gone now. Like, no.
It doesn't work that way.
You repeatedly take these drugs for them to work. So we answered that.
And Letro is so harsh that if he has a girlfriend, I think
your dick's not going to work.
She's going to hate it.
You're going to have a noodle dick. Yeah. Forget about it.
All right, moving on to @5336_Diego. How many times should a body part be trained a week?
You know, this is going to be down to the person and the way they feel. I mean, you got to go with instinct. Like my off seasons at the end of my career where I was training 3 times a week, max 4 times, because I felt I needed more time to recover. I just wasn't recovering fast enough, and the workouts were grueling. They were harder. And at the time, like more for me, at the time where my body was at, metabolism, recovery rate, I was making more progress training less. But in the beginning of my career, there was times where I'd train doubles for certain things, you know? So it's just going to depend on where you're at in with building your body, if you're prepping, your off season, what drugs you're on. I mean, there's so many variables, and it's down to the person. You know, some guys can get away training, you know, like Juan Morel trains fucking twice a day for God knows how long, and feels fine. But I could never do that. No matter where I was on, what I was on, where I was in life, I never trained twice a day, ever, like to that extent. I would train some body parts twice a week, but not twice a day, every day. I could never keep up with that. I would never recover. So it's just a case-by-case thing. You got to just take it on. Yeah,
I mean, when I first started, compared to how I train now, it's evolved a lot. I mean, I was so used to doing, you know, the bro splits. You know, I would go Monday through Friday, and then I take the weekend off. That was kind of my thing. But even at that, I felt that I was feeling like I was overtrained, because though by the time I hit day 4 and day 5, I was exhausted already. I was exhausted. So then that typically evolved then to like a 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, or a 3 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off kind of thing. Yeah. And then from there, I felt that I wasn't getting a lot of frequency by doing one body part, you know, a day, like Monday this, Tuesday this, Thursday this.
Yeah.
So then I evolved into more of a push-pull kind of scheme. And that seems like, for me, that's been perfect. Right. I have enough frequency in the week to hit weak body parts. So back, I hit it twice a week. One really heavy day, one more of a high rep touch-up day, just to keep blood moving in that area, so it doesn't go a full 7 days without me hitting it. And granted, if I'm sore, I'm gonna skip that day. I'm not gonna push it if it's still sore from the training from before. But I think that most people don't take into consideration the rest days. Yeah. I think those are really important. More is not better.
Yeah.
Especially building muscle, more is not better.
I try to tell people to look at the month instead of looking the week. So if you can train chest, 8 times in that month, you know what I'm saying? Like look at the
good way to see it.
Look at it for the 30-day period instead of the week period. So like if you could train chest 12 times, like, okay, great. You trained it 12 times that month, Maybe next month you should train it 6 or 8, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's a good way to see it.
You can increase the volume that way. So if you want to work on, let's say your back, let's overload the volume this month on back and back it off on this, because I know that my arms don't need it. Let's work on that. And then the next month, let's back off on back. Let's increase the chest. And then that's how I used to do it at the end. Once I had my physique, like somebody like you have an established physique everywhere. You're balanced, but there's body parts you want to bring up. So I would accelerate, let's throw an insulin this month because I'm going to work on my back because I need to accelerate my back. Let's back off the volume of my chest because I did it last month or my chest doesn't need it or whatever. And I would just feel it. And then I would literally just train with instinct. So I'd be like, okay, I train back Monday. Okay, Thursday, I feel recovered. Let's hit it again. Maybe it's 5 days next time until I go and train my back again. Or maybe it's 2. Maybe I'm recovered. I feel good. Let's fucking kill it. And the workouts always varied. So maybe I did 20 sets that Monday. Maybe I did 5 the next workout. I don't know. I really just went on how I felt every time. And that's
very instinctual then.
Yeah, but you have to be able to know. You have to be smart enough to do that. I don't trust some rookie guy going.
Of course.
I'd be like, here, Santi, try this out. Go have fun with it. See how you feel on it. You'd be able to know. Okay, I'm fried now. I did 10 sets or whatever, But that's for an advanced user at that point. But
I remember when I first started with Stan McQuay. We would always start from a very small package, to say the least. When we would start prep.
Right.
And for me to gain the most amount of size, I remember when he would give me in the beginning of preps a shit ton of food to eat, a shit ton. He always had me train push pull legs that way.
Wow.
And then, but I couldn't sustain that for the whole prep.
Right.
So then I would hit a point where then I would go back to a more traditional, one body part because I couldn't do 2 body parts every single training session. It was killing me. But it goes back to, somebody that is first starting. You're going to learn over time what's going to work for you. Yeah. I mean, what works for me right now may not work for me in 5 years from now, may not never work for you, but you have to be in tune with how your body is and see these things that you were talking about. Do you feel sore? Can you train this body part again? Yeah. Looking at it as a full month versus looking at it as a weekly basis.
Plus, the intensity that you need for that body part. You could probably go in there and do arms in 25 minutes, 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And just leave and be good, But maybe shoulders needs more. Maybe back needs, you know what I'm saying? So it's all going to come in time. And I think that's where people just make the biggest mistake. They don't give shit enough time to evolve, And you got to figure it out on your own. There's no right or wrong way to train. And that's the one thing I had to learn the hard way too. Eventually you just have to figure it out, You can take bits and pieces, but at the end of the day, you're going to figure out what you need to do to stimulate a muscle. I mean,
I agree.
It's very easy to figure out once you're there.
Since I answered this question.
Would you ever promise not to